Want to see how to put this Yeeka Kitchen Cart together? I'm now the proud owner of one, and we have recorded how to put this together from start to finish. So join Lesswell International, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and we will proceed with putting it together. First discovery, do not try to pull these out of the box with the box standing upright. So if you're going to pull them out, and that's the best thing to do. Well, I suppose you could cut away the box, but I don't want to damage any wood. Now, if you're going to pull them out with the box laying down like that, and pull them straight out. And so basically it is I pulled them from outside, inside, and I've got them on my floor here now. Because everything's connected by styrofoam and stuff like that. And if you try to pull them out upright or vertically, that's just way too much. That's too dangerous, too bad. That's not good for your back. So pull them out horizontally with them laying on the floor. What we have here, the parts are on the floor. If you've seen my videos before, you know that I like to lay them out so that I can actually see that I've got all the parts and stuff like that. Easy to see the numbers and tags. As you can see, the white little circles down there. Get a little closer here. Then you can see they're numbered and labeled. This is what we got. I'll show you the diagrams here that came with it. I've been doing some baking and cooking lately, and one of the things I need in the kitchen is a small island to make it easier for me to video me making breads and cakes and scones. So we bought a Yeeka Kitchen Cart, and now we need to assemble it. You're going to need a Phillips or plus screwdriver and a straight edge screwdriver or a minus screwdriver. You need both. Package G comes a Allen wrench. Always take a look at the instructions. Now there's no written instructions here. It's all photos and stuff like that, which you've already seen. It's always good to look at these to begin with before you even start the project, so you get an idea, okay, what am I going to be doing? Have I got everything I need? It also has a list of all the screws and the parts and stuff like that here. Step 1. We need parts 8, 3, and 4B screws. So 3 is right over here. The 2 8s are 2 short pieces. Now this says B and C for this package. There's 4 B's and 20 C's. So the 4 B's are longer and much larger. So the 4 B's you need longer and larger than the C's that you have in the package. So it's showing that the screws are coming in from one side, and you're like, well, what side do the screws come in? So because these are flathead screws, and you'll notice that they've got down for a depth so that the head of the screw can go in there, and you're not going to see the head of the screw when you're done. I forgot what that's called. Look, write it down in the comments below if you can figure that out, or if you remember what that is. So that tells me that these screws are all going to come in through here from this side. So that's how you know which side these go on. And of course these will go on the opposite side. And it looks like these are pretty much symmetrical. So it's not really going to matter whether it's which way is up, which way is down. I guess because this is a towel, this is for the towel holder. So maybe if you want to, you can take a look. The screws are going to be there, so I guess you can take a look at your board and say, okay, which is the prettier part of the board? So for me, I think this is the prettier part of the board, so I am going to make sure that that part is out. On that side, of course, it's probably easier if you had somebody else helping you, but that may not always be the case. I just want to start it a little bit to begin with both of them. Make sure that they're both going in straight. And then I'll turn and use the longer arm because you'll have more leverage, which means it'll be easier to turn. This is called the nose and hand technique to stabilize the board. I'm not going to tighten it all the way. Kind of like changing a tire. You don't tighten one nut all the way. You kind of let it come a little bit snug, then you come over back to the next one. Then you want to tighten that one up a little bit more. Make sure it's flush on the other side. Nice hand tighten it like that. And you can probably even start by hand tightening it, but only a little bit. I see it's a hard turn, so I'm only going to turn a little bit. I'm not going to fight with it. Okay, get it a turn or two. Give this one a turn or two, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the leverage of the longer arm. Fight with it a little bit. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If this video has helped you at all, it really helps me a lot. So I'm using a phone to do this video right now. I do have a Nikon camera, but for some reason the Rode shotgun mic and the Nikon camera are not playing with each other very nicely. So I'm using my iPhone for this. So by your subscribing to this channel, that helps this channel to have the subscribers we need to be monetized. And by being monetized, I can invest in better gear to make better videos for people like you who are looking at how do we put this furniture together. All right, step 1 is complete. Step 2, we take parts 2, 6, and 7 and 4 A's. There's 6. There's 2. Now you'll notice in the diagram, it shows the board flush. This board is flush with this board on the inside. Probably, yep, 7 is this one. Ha! I thought that was a 1. That's a 7. And we've got the cross board. This piece, cross piece, is actually facing the floor, which makes sense because you're going to put stuff on here. You can tell this is the bottom end. It's got 2 rubber feet on it. So these guys are going there and there like that. And then we need 4 A's. Oh, so it is off. So it isn't going to be, you can't just let it sit on the ground. It is going to be offset a little bit. Here again, I'm using the long arm. I've got more leverage. I'm not going to tighten it all the way, but we will just about come flush. Actually, then I think what I'll do is I'll go and do this top on that side, and then I'll flip it over so I've got room to turn the Allen wrench completely without having to fight the floor. We don't want to fight the floor now, do we? Seeing this is going in pretty easily because there's a hole pre-drilled in the furniture to begin with. So it should find where it needs to go pretty easily. Don't know why that's getting tight like that. Something's not right. Because it shouldn't be tight. Because this has still got a lot of give. Okay, we'll come back to that then, see what's going on with that in a minute. So like I say here, I don't want to fight the floor. So the best way to do that, I'm going to turn these over. itself, they're not secured, they might fall down. So that means you don't want to have any little kids playing around you when you're trying to put your furniture together, because something could fall. We don't want anybody to get hurt. Right, so now I'm going to tighten them up a little bit more. So that one's good. We got some tightening to do. So this one was kind of giving us a little bit of a hard time. Wow! So this one's not tight yet, and for some reason it is not. It's very tight. So I'm thinking they didn't drill it far enough. Close though, so I'm going to do is where I've got leverage here, open space here. So I've got open space where I can leverage it more. Oh man, see there's a space there. What do we do? I was going to say if I had all the tools and stuff like that, I'd take the screw out, I'd check the drill bit diameter, and I would drill a hole a little deeper. But as it is, we're almost there. We're just going to have to use some elbow grease. Now, what happens if you're not strong enough? That's a legitimate question. Because, wow, I don't want this thing to go flying. I don't want to hurt myself. So I want to make sure that it stays in the head of the screw. We may have to come back to that. Maybe that's going to be one of those, what do you do when type questions. Because once it's all put together, I'm sure that I could take this one screw out and it would not fall apart. So we're going to leave that for later. Step 3. Four more A screws and we're putting on the other side. And now that we see that the bottom feet are there, obviously the towel rack is not going to be inside. And if we look at our diagram, we will see that this board is flush with the inside as well. To confirm that, and before we get that too tight, now if we wanted, well, we could. You say if we wanted, we could actually stand this on its side. We might even do that, so you can see what I'm doing. I want to do that first so it doesn't fall off. Pretty good. It'll be a little bit more solid when we put it on the next level as well. Step 4. Part 5 going into 6 with 2 D dowels. D, there are 4 long ones, so 2 of the long dowels. Part 5, the drawer is going to go on. So these will go here. They just simply insert in like this. Now, it doesn't say, but I think if you don't plan on taking this apart at any time, you could probably safely use Elmer's wood glue and glue those in to make them more permanent. I am not going to glue them in now because we may take this whole thing apart when we move back to the States. Step 5. 2 parts 4 with 2 D's. The D's again going here and here. And 2 number 4s. Looks like they're symmetrical. And they're going to be underneath the top, so it's not really going to matter. Of course, the dowel is going to go in that. Aha! There is only one direction that they go. So if you put it in like this, you see that? That's wrong. So you put it here, okay? And then we've got 4A screws. No. So you're going to want to figure out where this hole is. You kind of want to make sure you start in that hole to begin with. There. Because that'll make it a lot easier to, you want to try and screw into the wood itself. This is pretty solid wood that they use for these. So you pilot hole. No, the pilot hole is the hole that you call for the drilling for a screw like that. So, and then before we tighten it all the way, we want to make sure we got this one started. Same thing, make sure it's in the hole. And just as it's going flush, I'm going to come back to the other side. I want to make sure that this is level with this board here. So I'm turning against this. As I'm turning like a vroom vroom, like a motorcycle with this hand, as I'm turning clockwise with this one, going counterclockwise with the other. I want that to be flush and level. They already had one of these assembled at the store where we bought them, so we could tell the way the guy assembled it that they were pretty solid once they were put together. Say before I get that too tight, I want to come over here, make sure that this one's tight, or it can go in there without any issues. Now it's getting to the point where we have to fight it a little bit. Who will win the fight? Here again, I'm doing the motorcycle thing. One clockwise, one counterclockwise. So I want this to be level with this because that top is going to go on top of here. Wow. Phew, ducky. Step 6. They want us to place part number 1 like that. We're going to use 4 C screws. Oh, and we also need to turn this upside down. Here again, we're going to line it up first, start the screws first. So you've got to make sure we have the screws by the holes. So I'm lifting it up to kind of look to see if it's right there or not. Letting the screw go in. We need a Phillips screwdriver for these. That's the plus screwdriver, as some like to call it. Okay, I'm not going to screw it all the way in. But as soon as it was in the hole and it started turning, this started to turn towards the hole. So here again, just like a car, you can also move this around. As soon as it found the hole, it kind of just dropped in. I'm just going to turn it by hand a little bit. Now if you're working on cement floor or a concrete floor or tile floor, something that's rough, you might want to put cloth or something underneath this before you start turning this around, or you'll damage your pretty top. But this is a oak floor. It's pretty soft. We don't wear shoes or anything in here. This one doesn't seem to have found its hole. Ah, there it went. Okay, so all four did find their holes. So now I'll screw it in. Now, of course, when this is being used, the tabletop will be sitting on this. And this top is going to be used for cooking and all sorts of stuff. So I'm not too concerned about the top getting scratches or stuff like that. It's a utility table for the kitchen, not to be put on a wall. Don't like that sound. Step 7. Put the wheels in. They got the wheels going kitty corner, 15s and 16s, so we'll make sure it's the same way. The diagram with the dowel facing that way, so we'll face it that way, and it'll be 16, 15, 15, 16. That's weird. Number 16 is the locking wheel. 16 goes here and here. 15 goes here then, and here. Step 8. Two drawers. Step 8, there's a total of 2 drawers, so we're doing this 2 times. So the first thing we do is we put 11, 12, 13 together, screw those in using the C screws. We've got the line, the small line here, here on the bottom and here on the bottom. That's for the bottom of the drawer. So these are going to go like this. Here again, I want the screw. I'm putting the screw so that it's just starting to go in that hole. Turning it. And then I want to do the same thing on the bottom. Now you don't have to hold it like I am. I mean, we can put it on the ground. It's probably easier to put it on the ground. So you're not holding the shelf up or the side of the drawer up. But for me, it's a matter of preference how you want to do it. So I'm going to do it this way because I got better leverage. And I'm going to tighten these all the way. Then the next side, we can see here. Okay, bottom of the shelf's going to slide in there. So this one's going to go this way. Like that. Ha ha ha. So we'll put the screw in here and it's in the hole, and we just want to start it enough to draw the screw in a little bit, because now I can see where the hole is because I haven't tightened it all the way down. There. Now I'm going to, because I can say because I'm left-handed. Why am I live in a right-handed world. What can I say? For some reason, this seems better. Oh, okay. For a second, I thought I had it going backwards. So it should be flush. Like that. 14 slides in. like that. 10 will also slide in, and 4 more C-screws, which leaves us 8 for the second drawer. Right. You can kind of feel it there. Yeah. So I'm not going to really start to hand screw that. There again, it's drawing the wood flush with this part of the drawer. I was wondering when the flat screwdriver was going to come in. Now we know. Well, it looks like you could also use a Phillips screwdriver. Again, push it out, put it in the hole a little bit if you can. Some people would use an electric screwdriver. I suppose you could do that too. I wouldn't do that to begin with though. I would always start with a screwdriver first, and then if you want to finish it up with an electric screwdriver, I suppose. Save yourself some trouble. So it looks like you can use a Phillips or a flat for this. I think the Phillips does a better finishing job. It's one. So I'll try to shut up for the next one. Same thing. Step 9. Dowel facing this way. Gently slide the drawers in. Oh, I see. I was wondering what these dowels were for, because they go in the side of the drawer. Now I know. Can you guess why they would go in the side of the drawer? As you can see in step 10. Right there. And there. Why? So you don't pull your drawer out all the way when you're trying to get something out of the drawer. Wonder what those are for. And finally, number 9. Thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. I really do hope that you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because that'll help this channel become monetized, and with that means I can get better gear so I can make better quality videos to help people like yourself put this furniture together. Or maybe if you're running across something where you have a question about, well, what's the next step? Well, you've always got these videos that you can watch here. So thanks again for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Because the wheels aren't set in place, I'm going to carefully lift. Hey, I was afraid of that. One wheel decided to come out.
Bad Will, Bad Will.
Thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. I really do help